I took 44 items to 3 buy-sell trade stores. I went to Crossroads, Buffalo Exchange, and then Plato's Closet to offload a little bit of my inventory of items that I've had listed on Poshmark and eBay that have, for one reason or another, not really sold very quickly. So some of these items I did have for quite a while, like a year plus, and then others I only had listed for maybe a month or two, but they were still items I kind of wanted to see if I could just bring into the buy-sell trade store, make a little bit of profit, and make some more room in my inventory. So I'm gonna walk through and share what I ended up bringing in, what the buy-sell trade stores took versus what they passed on, as well as at the end I'm gonna share what sold for me this week on Poshmark and eBay. So it'll be a little recap from the week of what sold either at the buy-sell trade stores or on Poshmark and eBay. So let's hop right on in to the first item that I brought in, which was this pair of a Goldie Sophie Crop high-rise jeans. None of the 3 buy-sell trade stores that I brought these into ended up taking them, which wasn't a big surprise because they are a skinny leg. And so I thought maybe since they were a Goldie, they would take them. They did not. I've had those listed for 748 days, so I'm really hoping I can sell those even for like $15. That would be great, but they didn't take them and they continue to sit for me. So eventually, if they don't sell, I probably will end up donating them. Next is this pair of 7 for All Mankind bootcut low-rise jeans. They were a faded black wash. None of the 3 buy-sell trade stores took this pair of jeans. I've had that listed for about a year now, so hopefully I'm able to sell them myself at some point. Next was this Portland Gear pullover crew neck top, and I thought maybe since this is a local Portland clothing company, that maybe one of the buy-sell trade stores would take it, but lo and behold, none of them did, so I do currently still have that one listed. Then next was this pair of Madewell distressed dad jeans in a medium wash, size 27, and Buffalo Exchange did end up taking this pair of jeans. So I'll tell you guys my total average profit from each of these items at the end. But they did end up taking them and I was able to make a little bit of profit. I had those listed for almost a year, so I was very happy to make even a small profit and get those moved out. Right, next is this Barefoot Dreams Bamboo Chic Light knit cardigan. And I don't know if any of you guys saw Jack and Ryan's brands they're no longer picking up, or brands that are dead to them or something like that, but they had mentioned Barefoot Dreams being one of those brands. And I do have to agree with them. I do think that brand is far from what it once was on the resale market, at least. I haven't been able to sell a couple Barefoot Dreams items, and the buy-sell trade store did not take this Barefoot Dreams item. Then next was this Reformation crushed velvet Barbie core tank top, and this was a bins pickup. Most of these were bins pickups, luckily, so if the buy-sell trade store did take them, I knew I would still be left with a small profit. So this one, the buy-sell trade stores did take. I think it was Buffalo Exchange that took this top, and the tag was really faded, so I thought that might deter them just because it looks a little worn when it has such a faded brand tag, but they did still take that one, luckily for me. So got that one moved out, made a little profit. Then next is this pair of Babaton Aritzia linen blend trousers. They were a size 00, so that was the main reason that I felt like they weren't really selling well for me. But I thought maybe the buy-sell trade stores would take them, and unfortunately none of them did take it. Next is this Wild Fox rainbow stripe half zip pullover sweatshirt. This one I had listed for 305 days, and I honestly feel like it's been longer than that I picked this up, because it's just been sitting for so long. And this is a brand to me that I will no longer pick up. It's just not a brand that performs well at this point in time, at least for me. So I have fully stopped picking this brand up personally, but the buy-sell trade stores did end up taking it. One of them did, so that was fantastic. Then I brought in this Erica vintage ditzy floral top. This one I have had listed for 293 days, so it's been listed for a minute here, and none of the buy-sell trade stores did end up taking that one. This next one was a pair of vintage trousers. The brand is Sport Haley. And I thought that maybe since the buy-sell trade stores, especially here in Portland, just really seem to like taking vintage, I thought maybe they would end up taking these, but none of them did end up taking this pair. Then I brought in this Max Mara wool rabbit cashmere pencil skirt. This was the only item on this whole list and of all the items that I brought in, that I had actually bought at a regular Goodwill. So I paid $7.99 for it, and I would have lost like a tiny bit of money if any of them did end up taking it. So maybe it was like a little small blessing in disguise that none of them did end up taking this one. All right, next was this Marc by Marc Jacobs floral Hawaiian shirt. It was a men's large. And I decided to bring this one in, didn't really think they would take it, but then one of the buy sell trade stores did end up taking this one. Then the next one is a streetwear brand. It's Chinatown Market, and it was this t-shirt, men's medium. This one, the very first buy sell trade store that I went to, which was Crossroads, they did end up taking this one, so that was great. Next is this pair of Levi's high-waisted, wide-leg crop jeans, and they had some hand-painted like details on them all over. And when I originally picked these up, I didn't know if they were hand painted or if Levi's produced them like that, but I did come to find that they were hand painted. I was pretty confident that one of them would take it, one of the buy sell trade stores, but none of the three did, and probably like this is a pair that I need to just really drop the price and try to find the person who would really want this pair of very like eccentric, unique boho style pants. And hopefully eventually those do sell, even if it's just for like literally $15. All right, then I brought in this Group Babaton wool alpaca turtleneck sweater, and that is an Aritzia brand. So one of the buy sell trade stores did end up taking that, which is great. That was a very big bulky item, so it was one I was hoping one of them would take just to give me a little bit more room within my inventory closet storage area. So happy to see that one get moved out. Then I brought in this Lululemon pullover crew neck sweatshirt. This is one that I know would eventually sell for me. It wasn't like sitting for that long, and I think Lululemon does typically sell at some point for one price point or another, but they did end up taking that one. Then I brought in this Union and Awake t-shirt. It was another kind of streetwear t-shirt. None of the buy sell trade stores took that one. Next was this 7 for All Mankind corduroy button-down dress. This one I really haven't had listed for super long, and it was new with tags, so it's one that I do think eventually would have sold. It was a size extra small, so I think sometimes those can sit a little bit longer on Poshmark and eBay, but one of the buy sell trade stores did ultimately take that dress. Next was this Elements by Talentless crew neck sweatshirt. This was the only time I've ever found anything talentless, which is like Scott Disick's brand, or used to be his brand. And I don't know if it was because it's Elements by Talentless, if that's a subline, but none of the buy sell trade stores took that item. Next is this North Face fuzzy fleece jacket, and none of the buy sell trade stores took this one, but I actually ended up selling it this morning on Poshmark, so that'll be in one of the sales I'll show you at the end of the video of what sold this week. So that kind of worked out for me. I made definitely more selling it myself than I would have if one of them took it, so I guess that was kind of good that they ended up passing on it. Then this Columbia Vintage Bugaboo jacket was something that all three buy sell trade stores passed on, so that one still listed for me on Poshmark and eBay. And then next was this American Giant, I think they're called Ponte pants, I think that's how you say it. These I brought in, they're kind of like a legging style dress pant is the best way I would put it. None of them ended up taking this pair, but that brand can do very well. American Giant doesn't usually sell for a ton, at least in my experience. I think I sold a crew neck long sleeve maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago for $20, so nothing crazy there, but can do pretty well. And then this vintage Fila windbreaker jacket was the next item I brought in, and it was a vintage one. I do think if it was in pristine, clean condition, one of them would have taken it, but it did have some little stains on the front. And that is one thing I noticed for a lot of these items is as the people at the buy sell trade stores were looking through the items, if something had even like the teeniest, tiniest flaw or stain or anything, it was an automatic no. So that is something that I do need to keep in mind when I bring stuff in, is if it has any flaw whatsoever, then they probably aren't going to take it. And normally if an item does have a little flaw, I just disclose it in the listing, and people don't typically care. I mean, you do probably want to drop the price a little bit, but I think a lot of times people don't really care that much when they're shopping online and something has like a little tiny flaw, as long as you disclose it. But at the buy sell trade stores, that seems to be something they're very picky about, so that is something I will keep in mind. Next was this Lululemon daily yoga jacket. So this is another Lulu item that I definitely eventually could sell on my own, but one of the buy sell trade stores did end up taking that. Next was another Barefoot Dreams. It was this actually a knit dress. It was kind of a midi length, one size, really cozy dress. None of them ended up taking it. So Barefoot Dreams is not only like pretty slow to move on Poshmark and eBay, but even the buy sell trade stores don't really want that brand, even though, I mean, it's honestly a pretty expensive brand at Nordstrom, but I think it's been oversaturated, it's a little diluted. I did learn in Jack and Ryan's video that it's sold now at like TJ Maxx and stuff, or Marshalls, so I think that definitely doesn't help. All right, then this COS linen midi dress was the next item. They did end up taking this one, so that was great. I think that was also at Buffalo Exchange. Most of them were at Buffalo Exchange, and then Crossroads took the second most amount. And then Plato's Closet was the last place I went, and they only took 2 items, which I was like really shocked by, but that is fine. Alrighty, then this Patagonia organic cotton t-shirt was the next item, and none of the 3 buy sell trade stores ended up taking this. Then I brought in this Malahini men's Hawaiian shirt, and it had some Napa branding on it, some cars all over it, so definitely a car lover type of shirt. And one of the buy sell trade stores did take that one, which was pretty cool. That was a unique item that I found in the bins not that long ago, probably maybe like 4 months ago. Next was this Air Blaster Anorak snow jacket. None of the buy sell trade stores ended up taking this. This Polo Ralph Lauren snap fleece pullover is kind of similar to a cinchilla style pullover sweater. And actually Plato's Closet in the end ended up taking that one. This next one I thought maybe one of the buy sell trade stores would take, because when I looked online the night before, it did say they were looking for more plus size stuff. So I brought in this Good American, Good Mama crew neck sweatshirt, size 5X, and none of the buy sell trade stores ended up taking that one. Next was this Bowden corduroy mini skirt, and one of the buy sell trade stores did end up taking that. And I quote, she said it was the cutest Bowden item she's ever seen. So I was happy that they took that one. Then this Gentle Fawn new with tags scarf. One of the buy sell trade stores did end up taking that one. It was new with tags, which I think helped. Next was this Madewell button back shirt. It had some very colorful stripes, vertical stripes on it. And one of the buy sell trade stores was really interested in it, looked it over thoroughly, really liked it, and then found like one little teeny stain along the white, one of the white stripes, go figure. So then they ultimately did pass on that. Next was this All Saints infinity scarf. It's like a wool linen blend. This, none of them ended up taking, which I thought maybe they would. Just like, I know we're kind of coming to the tail end of winter-ish as far as retail goes. And they did take a different scarf, but not the All Saints. Then this Anthropologie Pilcrow high-rise bootcut jeans had some really cute button details along the hem. They did end up taking that. So that left me with a little bit of a profit. Then let's see, these next 6 they did not take, so I'm just gonna kind of like spew them off. So they did not take this pair of Outdoor Voices athletic leggings, this One State plaid double-breasted blazer, this Urban Outfitters Sherpa jacket, this Theory sheath mini dress, this Sweaty Betty running jacket, which I really didn't get that long ago, this pair of Rebecca Taylor women's plaid trouser pants they also did not take. Then the next one that they did take, and actually the last one that they did take, was this pair of athletic pants. They had a flare leg. And then the last one that they did not take was this Patagonia Responsibility short sleeve shirt. So I brought in 44 items to the 3 buy sell trade stores. Well, you know, the first one got 44, then it like trickled down as they took some stuff. They ended up taking, amongst the 3 buy sell trade stores, 16 out of the 44 items. Not fantastic, not terrible, still did leave me with a little profit. So in total from those 3 buy sell trade stores, I made $105.27, and that came out to an average of $6.58 per item, which I typically spend an average of $2 per item for my cost of goods. So I was still left with a little bit of a profit for each of those items, which is great. I did not lose money on any of them or even break even. I made a profit, even though a small one, on all of those items. And the only thing I ended up getting at Plato's Closet at the end was a pair of Doc Martens combat boots. They were a collaboration with Adventure Time, the Cartoon Network show, and those I do think I'll be able to flip for probably around $125 to $150, maybe a tiny bit more, but I bought those for $21. So ultimately, not bad. Definitely was happy to clear out a little bit of mostly stale inventory and just make a little room, make a little profit, kind of a win-win. And it was interesting seeing what they ended up taking and seeing what they ended up passing on. And I will have to really keep in mind how important condition is when bringing stuff into the buy-sell trade store. So please let me know in the comments if you bring stuff into buy-sell trade stores or consignment stores as part of your reselling either business model or just to offload some inventory and kind of liquidate it. But please let me know, I'd be very curious to hear. All right, now I'm gonna hop into what sold this week on eBay and Poshmark for me. So this is from Monday the 20th to today, which is the 25th. So first was the Sims men's rain jacket, sold for $95, which was great on eBay. And that left me with $75.94 in profit. Took less than 2 months. Really great sale. And this one, unfortunately, when I went to pack it up, I did notice a really small flaw on this one, like a little tiny slit in the nylon on like the back, but it wasn't a hole that went all the way through. So that was good at least, but I did message the buyer about that. I actually messaged them twice and did not get a response. So I did end up shipping it out. I'm kind of anticipating that to potentially either be a return or I'm not really sure. I offered to refund them a little bit to account for the flaw, and I'm kind of just waiting for them to respond. Probably once they get the item, they will, but I tried to communicate with them ahead of time and we'll see what ends up happening. But still a very good sale, and hopefully they still want to keep that item even with the really small flaw that I unfortunately missed when I originally was listing it. Next is this pair of Marmot men's snow pants. These sold for $35 on Poshmark, and that left me with $24.94 in profit. And these took 13 days after I relisted them because I originally sold them on eBay, and then the buyer ended up returning them, so then I relisted them. They sold in under 2 weeks on Poshmark for $35. Next was this Patagonia baby fleece vest. This was a bins find. I paid $1.28 for it and then sold it on Poshmark for $12. That left me with $7.77 and took 13 days to sell. Then I sold this Free People thermal sweater. It was kind of an après-ski aesthetic. I had it listed at $45 and then accepted an offer for $28. So that left me with $20.59 in profit. It took only 10 days, very fast flip, kind of a newer, very trendy current style. So I think that's why that item did sell pretty quickly. Speaking of quick flips, next was this Pilcrow Anthropology women's sweater. This one sold for $45, which was only $5 off of my original asking price. So it was an extremely reasonable offer that the buyer sent me. I very happily accepted it and was left with $33.96 in profit. Only took 1 day to sell. That was actually one of the items I found up in Seattle at the Goodwill outlet last weekend when I was up there. And I think I got like 5 or 6 items, and that was one of them. So super great find, super great sale, and super fast. Next was this pair of Lululemon Dance Studio jogger pants. These I also got at the Goodwill outlet, paid $1.28. Listed them at $68 and sold them for $35. I think the buyer offered me $25 and then I countered $10 more at $35. Figured that's still decent. They're pretty old style, older pair of Lululemon pants. So very happy with a $35 sale price. That left me with $26.72 in total profit after Poshmark's fee, shipping costs if I had any, which I did not here, and my cost of goods. So $26.72 in total profit. Took only 11 days. This next one was one that all 3 buy-sell trade stores passed on. It was this North Face fuzzy fleece jacket. This was another bins pickup. I paid $2.68, listed it at $30, and then I had sent out 25% off offers. So someone accepted that. It sold for $22 and left me with $14.92 in total profit. More than double what I would have made if one of the buy-sell trade stores took it. So that worked out really well for me. All right, then I sold this pair of Pendleton Houndstooth high-rise wool trouser pants. Picked them up for $1.57, sold them for $20, was left with $14.43 in profit, but they did take 2 years to sell, 767 days. So far from a fast flip, still a good sale in the end, decent profit in the end there, but definitely sat for a while. All right, then this last sale was a sale I made this morning. I accepted the offer on eBay, but the buyer hasn't paid yet, so I might be jinxing it by sharing it with you guys, but I'm gonna share it anyway, because assuming the buyer does pay on eBay, it's a very good sale. So it was this Represent Clo men's puffer jacket, and it's a duck down filling. So I had it listed at $195 and did accept a $100 offer on eBay. That will leave me with about $80 in total profit if the buyer does pay. If they don't pay, then it'll still remain listed at $195, and hopefully it does end up selling soon. I really haven't had that one that long. Let me see. I've only had it listed for about 2 weeks now, so even if they don't end up getting it, I do think that one eventually will sell, especially knowing someone's willing to send a $100 offer. That's great. That was a new to me brand, but when I found that in the bins, I was like definitely needing to look into it more just because it seemed really high quality. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments if you do go to the buy sell trade stores ever, either to source items to flip online or for yourself, or if you bring in clothes to make some money at the buy sell trade stores. I'd be very curious. And I'm also curious to hear if you are currently selling more winter items or spring items online. If you resell and flip clothes online, I'd be very interested to hear, because I know a lot of people are starting to buy for spring, but I feel like it's kind of even split for me. I'm definitely still selling a good amount of winter stuff, as well as some like t-shirts, short sleeves, shorts, stuff like that. So let me know down in the comments. But thank you again for watching. I hope you have a very good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video.